Here she is. Look at my beauty. Hi, my name's Mark and welcome to the channel. Today I'm sitting down to show you some of my newest treasures, a couple of things that I picked up this last weekend at Wild and Woolly, a fiber expo here in northeastern Ohio, and then a couple of gifts, some belated Christmas gifts, and things that I received from some of you who watch the channel. Now, this isn't a haul video or a video to just talk about stuff. Rather, it's a chance for me to show you some of the things that I really appreciate and to reflect on the generosity of so many of you. And I'm going to turn that generosity around by doing a giveaway or a couple of giveaways towards the end of this video. So if you'd like to spend a little bit of time chatting, crafting, relaxing here with me, then stick around and let's get into it. Back when I dreamed of having a YouTube channel, one of the things that I looked forward to was being able to kind of do a show and tell, give a tour of the things that I appreciate, the things that I have or that I make that I think are really special. And when I watch YouTube, it's something that I enjoy. I am always curious. I like to see what people have, what they like to invest in, but at the same time, I don't love the idea of pushing stuff. So I want to make sure that this is clear that I'm not here on the channel ever to try to sell you a ton of things. I don't want to tell you about a product unless it's something that I genuinely spent my own money on or something that I actually use and believe in. So all of these things today are either gifts from family and friends, some things that I purchased at Wild and Woolly last weekend, or a couple of things that have been sent to me by some of you. So let's get into some of these things that I think are real treasures. I'll interrupt myself by saying what I'm working on just in case anybody is curious and will be distracted by that. I'm working on my ranunculus by Midori Hirose. I'm making it out of a worsted weight yarn because I want it to look more like a regular sweater. I don't want it to look so holey and sheer. So anyway, I'm using wool stock from Blue Sky Fibers, and I have a little bit of sparkle in it. If you've been on the channel before, you've probably seen my sparkle sweater that I worked on. I wanted to have it ready by December of last year so that I could wear it for festive, holiday-related activities, parties, and just feeling like, I don't know, I'm a little extra sparkly. And I'm really happy with that, how that turned out. So I used the same type of yarn, the same sparkle sequined runner, lace weight runner from Lang for this sweater. And here I only used it at the top of the sweater, only a little bit in the yoke, and then the rest of the sweater is just solid. I'll hold it up and see. You can see a little bit of it. I'm also coming back and picking up the neckline. I didn't do any of the ribbing at the beginning. I like to save that for the end of my sweaters just to make sure I get sort of a custom neckline, neck opening size that I'm happy with. So I'll talk about the project once I finish it. There will be a dedicated video to it, but for anyone who is curious, I wanted to let you know what it was on my needles. So I'll start my show and tell with Wild and Woolly. We'll work backwards. So last weekend I was working at the Around the Table Yarns booth at Wild and Woolly, which is a fiber expo in northeastern Ohio at the Cuyahoga, I can't say it, at the Cuyahoga County Fairground in Berea. So I was there with my very good friend Megan, and we had a lot of fun. You get to see some of the same people year after year, some of the same vendors that return, but there are always new vendors, the people who attend the expo. Of course, it can be a different group each time. So it was really fun to meet a lot of people, visit with people, see so many beautiful sweaters and bags and accessories. I think that was my favorite part, watching everybody walk around and just seeing dozens of things that inspired me that I appreciated. So when people had a chance, I would stop them and ask what the pattern was, tell them how much I appreciated it. So I wrote down a sort of a short list of patterns that I wanted to make sure I could remember. So that was very fun. I've never been to any of the big fiber expos before. I'd like to go. This coming fall, I have a conflict with Rhinebeck, Sheep and Wool Festival in New York, so I won't make it this year, but I plan to attend some of these festivals. I want to go to everything at least once in the coming years. So I'll be sure to let you know if I'm going to be somewhere so that I can hopefully meet some of you out there who watch the channel. So let's start with the things that I picked up at Wild and Woolly. Not much, I just wanted a couple keepsakes. First up is a gift from Megan. She came back to our booth after we both took a little bit of time to do our own shopping, and she held out this yarn. It's from Magpie Fibers, Swanky DK, 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and it's in the color Aurora Borealis. And she held these two skeins out, and I said, what are those? And she said, is this the color that you liked? And I said, answer my question first. What are those? Why do you have them? And then she said, well, I got one for each of us, which I told her was too much, too generous, but I appreciate it, and I'm excited now to make something with this yarn. I really like a single skein of DK weight. I feel like I do follow through and make projects out of a single skein of DK. It's sometimes harder for me to find single skein projects that I'm excited to make out of fingering weight yarn, and sometimes worsted weight. I don't know, I might not have quite enough yardage to do what I want. I know with worsted weight, 100 grams, I can do a hat, I can do a pair of gloves. I don't know. I just like the weight and the flexibility of DK. So I don't know exactly what I'll do with it yet, but hopefully I'll find something soon, and maybe Megan and I both can make something that coordinates and we can wear it together in the future. I'm always a fan of that. And then I've got a couple of yarn cozies, and my good friend Paula at Spinning Loft made these cozies, and she actually came over to our booth. We were next door neighbors at Wild and Woolly, and gave us these cozies. She gave one to Ned, one to me, and one to Megan. So this is Ned's here with the aliens on paisley, and then the kitty cats. So thanks, Paula. Then with a bit of my own shopping, I picked up a tape measure. Ned showed up to Wild and Woolly, and he always wants to play yarn store. You know, like when you're a kid and you want to play hotel or play grocery store where you get to do the register and ring people out, scan things. So he was excited to come to Wild and Woolly just in case it got busy, which it did. There were lots of people with questions, lots of people we wanted to have a moment to talk with, and then of course people that were ready to purchase things. So he had a fun time working with us at Wild and Woolly. So I said, this is yours, your gift, your thank you gift. So we have our Highland Coos, and it's just a little tape measure. And this is, of course, Emma Ball. I'm a big Emma Ball fan. I like the colors, I like the whimsical style, and I like the subjects. I like the cows, the sheep, the puffins, all of the things that she captures. Next, I picked up a couple of row counters. I've been doing projects recently where I really do rely or depend upon a row counter. If I'm following a chart for something like cables where I need to know if I'm on row 14 or 16 of a cable chart and it's a little harder for me to tell, especially when the cables cross, I'll usually just move a ruler or move a digital highlighter on my iPad if I'm reading the pattern that way. But for something like a Sophie scarf or just something textured where I've memorized the pattern, so I'm not looking at a pattern, I don't have a device with me, but I still need to know if I've hit 5 rows or 10 rows or 16 rows before I change or increase, decrease, whatever it is, I like to have a clickable row counter. So I had seen these on social media, so you can say I was influenced, but I like them. So here we are, and it's just a little click. When I brought it back to the table and showed Megan, I said something like, oh, it's the kind of counter people use like at church to count the people. And she said, or a baseball game. And I said, yeah, that makes sense too. I'm never ready with sports references in my mind and in my heart. So anyway, I got one in blue and I got one in the silver because I liked that it was shiny. And so I'll throw these into a couple project bags and have them for some of my projects that require counting. And then I picked up a doodle deck, an expansion deck. If you're not familiar with the doodle patterns, these come from, is it Pacific? Yes, Pacific Knit Company. And she designs all sorts of small colorwork charts that you could mix and match and put together into larger projects. So there are decks of cards. This is an expansion pack, so it's, I don't know how many are in here. 13 cards. The decks have more cards, and usually they're themed. So you could do something like farm theme or flowers, I don't know, trees, nature. And then there's also a book that was released recently with a large collection of doodle charts and also recipes, how to put them into a cowl, how to put them into other garments. So I have the book. We were selling it at Around the Table, but we don't sell the card decks there. So sometimes when I'm traveling, when I'm at a Fiber Expo or somewhere special, and I see a doodle deck or hear an expansion deck, I pick it up. So those are my wild and woolly purchases and a couple of gifts, thanks to Megan and Paula. Again, it was really fun being at the Fiber Expo. I enjoyed it even more this time because several of you who watch the channel and are in this general region of the world were able to come say hello. So I got to meet people and put faces with names or faces with screen names and put together a little more context for who you are. So I appreciated being able to put together sort of a tangible representation of part of this community. That was really exciting for me. It was heartwarming. It made it seem like there are people, real people, on the other side of the camera as I'm sitting here in my lovely craft room, but staring out the window to see a very dreary, gray, icy day. I don't know. I would much rather be with people every time I'm sitting down at this table. So I appreciated being able to meet several of you and put names with faces and get to chat, get to visit, and put a little more context into who you are. So if you were there, if you were able to come say hello and introduce yourself, I really appreciated that. It made my day, so thanks. Next up, I wanted to show something that my mother gave me. She gave to me and to Ned when we were visiting Tennessee in January at the New Year. And I think she said it was like a first anniversary gift. And it's something that I've wanted, something that I've mentioned and I've seen out in the world. And I always say, oh, I hope I can find one of those one day. So I'll show you. She found 2 Hummels. And I think she said she got them from like a collector or a store that sells collectibles, things that are in good condition. So these came in their original boxes, in beautiful shape. So first, we have the little knitting Hummel with her bird. And you can see the yarn is tensioned over her left hand. So she's knitting continental style, just like me. And we have one of these at Around the Table Yarns. I saw one once at Cast On, a yarn boutique in Vermilion, Ohio, and I thought, oh, I want one. I want one day if I can find one. So I thought this was a really, really thoughtful gift and something I'm excited to hold on to for the rest of my life and then pass on one day. So this one was my gift. And then for Ned, we have the little boy with his lamb. Ned and I both love sheep. Ned really loves cows too. So she thought this would be an appropriate gesture, an appropriate gift, and it is. It's so kind, and we were really excited and surprised to open these. So they'll live behind me. They've been living behind me on the bookcase for the last couple of months, and I'm very proud to display them there. This weekend, Around the Table Yarns in Shaker Heights, where I work part-time, celebrated their 6th anniversary. And so they had some special events going on to celebrate, and a lot of customers came in to celebrate with us and take advantage of a sale. There was cake. It was like a party. It was very fun. So I'm feeling extra cheery. I'm feeling like I'm in a good mood. There's just a lot of positivity that I feel like is around me. And I also really feel that here on the channel. There have been so many nice, wonderful, positive comments, nice notes, nice emails that have come my way. So I just want to say thank you. If you're someone that's been here before and you choose to come back, your kindness, your positivity make a huge difference, not just to me, but to, I'm sure, all of the other people who read the comments you post, the other people in your life. If you're taking that same energy into your daily work, with your family, with your friends, with your crafting community, then it's making the world a much better place. So I just wanted to say that. I don't want to feel selfish, like I'm hogging all of the happiness. So thanks for choosing to be kind. Thanks for always being generous with me here. Just wanted to say that. All right, a couple more things, and then I've got a skedaddle. Ned and I are recording some music tonight for an application. There's always stuff, always auditions, always things that we have to record, send off, whether it's for a competition or for a job. So I just looked at my clock, and I've only got a little bit of time before I need to go warm up and meet Ned. So when I talked about Pat Trexler in my video about music, about travel, I was in Charleston, South Carolina, staying with a really lovely couple, and one of them saw something I had knit, and we started talking about knitting, and she said that her grandmother was a prolific knitter, and she showed me some of the sweaters, some of the blankets that she still had from her grandmother, and we had a really good time talking about what that meant, sort of the sentimental value and all the memories she had of visiting her grandmother and watching her knit, hearing about the projects, and knowing how much it meant to her. So she had a scrapbook from her grandmother with all sorts of clippings of articles, most of them written by Pat Trexler. And I shared that in the video, and I asked if any of you are familiar, and several people wrote in the comments or wrote to me talking about the newspapers, the articles, and even this book. So I had maybe 2 or 3 people reach out and say they had copies of the book and asked if they could send me the copy for me to have in my library. And I said yes, but then I got a surprise copy of it in the mail from Sandi in California. So thank you so much, Sandi. We've talked a little bit in messages back and forth, but I'm really excited, really proud to have this in my library and to continue looking through it. It's a great book on knitting, sort of the how-to, the things you should know. It's a nice, really nice resource. And whenever I check my P.O. box, I always have a nice little stack of cards and notes from people that watch the videos. So thank you if you've sent me things. I always love opening them. It's great to learn more about you. And again, it gives me a lot of context for who I'm sharing these videos with, who I'm spending my time with here. So I always appreciate hearing what you have to say, whether it's in comments on the video, in a message elsewhere, or in something handwritten. And among those cards was one from Marty, and she sent me this bird keychain from Portland Leather. She said after she watched my video where I got myself a couple of leather bags for Christmas, she went onto the website to poke around, and she thought that I should have this bird, which is fitting with my last name, with Vogel, to enjoy. So right now, it's on my key, my car key, so that I don't lose my car key. And every time I drive my car, every time I get in, I see the bird and I'm reminded of Marty and her kindness. So thank you. So that's my cute little bird keychain. And it's got a little pocket. I don't know what to put in the pocket, if anything, but it's nice it's there. I could put like something for an emergency since it's on my car key. One of my very lovely friends who I've made through the channel, Carol, came to see the recital that Ned and I gave a couple weekends ago here in Ohio, and she had a card for me, and when we were talking, she said, I want you to go ahead and open it. And inside the card were these safety eyes. And I looked at them and I said, they're safety eyes. Thank you. And she said, well, no, look closer. And so when I looked at them, I realized they're cat eyes. And she had sent me an email about the Victorian house cats that you can knit. And I said, oh my goodness, I love those. I think I need to make a cat or 2 or 3 to have here in my life. And so then she was online looking for cat eyes specifically to use with those patterns. So she gave me 2 sets of cat eyes, a green set and a yellow set. And now it means I have to hold myself accountable. I need to make a cat or 2 from that book. So once I get to it, I'm sure I'll talk about it here on the channel, but thank you, Carol. It's really sweet, and it's also a good push for me to make sure I do that project. All right, 2 more lovely things, and then I'm done gushing and talking here. The first is another woven towel. I showed a woven towel from my friend Elfrida, I don't remember when, a month or 2 ago. Really beautiful red woven towel with sort of a herringbone pattern. And this is from another one of our weaving friends, Kurt. And Kurt wove this with all the fish. Again, I have never woven, so I don't know how it works. I want to take a couple of classes, a couple of lessons, just to get my feet wet and have a little bit of understanding of how it even works. But I think this is gorgeous. So we're always really happy, really surprised, and kind of thrilled to receive gifts of this level, something handmade, something really special. Now for the mother load. I talk about Delaque every once in a while. I have a couple of little Delaque accessories, but I've never had a real Delaque bag. And on the Yarn Discovery Tour last year, which is the yarn crawl that happens in northeastern Ohio, I was at one of the shops for you in Oberlin, Ohio, and I made a comment about some of the Delaque bags and the one that I really, really loved. So Megan tucked that information away, and at Christmas time, she surprised me with, I think, an overly generous gift, but I'll take it. I'm glad to be the owner. So let me crack it open. I wanted to share it with you here on the channel before I take it out into the world, and I don't know. I think I'm going to take good care of it, but you never know. Might get a little dinged up and loved along the way. Here she is. Look at my beauty. So this is none other than the Delaque hat box. I've got, I don't know what they're called. I don't know what anything is. I've got this on each side. I can attach the strap. I've got a space here and a space here where my yarn can come out of the bag without getting chomped up. So let's go inside. Let's explore. Inside the bag, we have our own little organizing holding room. We've got elastic slots for hooks, needles, pens, anything we want. We've got a spot for scissors. These came with the bag, but I could switch them out for other scissors if I so choose. We've got a couple of darning needles. Again, I could put my own darning needles there. And then a spot for a tape measure with our little cue. And of course, all of this props open. I can't show it super well. I'll hold it in front of me. You can see it props open, which I think is fun. I like bags that I can put in front of me on a table, especially when I go to around the table yarns. Sometimes when I'm working, I'm teaching at the table, I'm helping people with projects, so I'll have my own project sort of propped up, set up in front of me. Other times I'll go when I'm not working because I want to visit my local yarn shop. I want to be social and see my friends or make new friends. So I like to have a bag that sometimes can open up. And I like to do that with my Stephen West Project 15, Project whatever it is, Project 12 bag that opens. I like to do it with my little suitcase. This one props open. It's got my sea glass sweater in it, so all the colors stay organized. So that's one reason I liked the hat box, and I was dreaming of the hat box because it can prop open and I can use it differently from other bags. Also, like my little suitcase, it's hard, it's strong, so I could put things in it that aren't going to get crushed. I could even pop my camera in it or a microphone and have some of my filming things with me, and when I'm on and off of an airplane or in and out of the car, I know they're going to be a little more protected. Let's further inspect the inside. So I think some of these things came with the bag, and then Megan has put other things in here for me. That's nice. There's a little pocket here on the back where I guess you could put, again, whatever you want, but if you need a little scrap paper or notes, you've got it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the strap on because the time has come to start using the bag. And now for the surprises inside. We've got a little felt notions pouch. I really like little pouches, little things that can go inside a bigger project bag because it keeps me organized. I don't want to have to dig through, like digging through to the bottom of your purse to find the hair clip or the quarter or whatever it was. I like for them to have other little places they live so that I'm not having to tear my bag apart when I need the smallest item. This is sweet. Fiber Arts Educator. When Megan gave this to me, she said that she wanted to get it for me because I wouldn't get it for myself because I'm humble, which is very generous. Thank you, Megan. I feel like as she's watching this, she's going to say, that wasn't the word I chose, and maybe it wasn't. I might have put those words in her mouth. Then we've got the Mesh Delicue bag. This one I think comes with the larger hat box. And inside the mesh pouch, the greatest gift of all, a slew of my favorite candy bar. So we have a Kit Kat Big Cat, not to be confused with Big Cat, the Big Cat. I'm really excited now to have this beautiful, beautiful bag as part of my arsenal of tools and notions. I'm excited to use it when I craft. I take pride in it. I'm going to take care of it to the best of my ability. Now, as promised, I'll turn around and feature a giveaway for a couple of people watching this video. When I daydreamed of having my own YouTube channel and maybe one day having people that watch the channel and having videos that sometimes reach a lot of people, I thought it would be really fun to have giveaways. I like giveaways. I think it's fun to enter things. I think it's fun to win something. I just think it's fun. So if you're not a giveaway person, if you're not interested in entering or being considered, no worries, you can skip along. This is the last thing that'll happen in the video. But if you are interested, I'll show you what our two prizes are. I thought for this giveaway I would feature two things I really love, bags and yarn, bags and fiber. So first is this bag. It's a sort of small to medium-sized project bag. It's got wrenches on it, sort of rugged. Just kidding, it's not. And then we have an iridescent zipper on the top, which is fun. So it's a zip top project bag with a wrist strap. So you could put it on your wrist and have a smaller project in it, or just carry it that way, or clip it to a larger bag. And this was made by someone local to me. That's Ingrid of Sailor Girl Fibers. We sell a few varieties of the bags she makes at Around the Table Yarns. So you've got this small to medium-sized project bag featuring wrenches, an iridescent zipper, and on the inside, let me get the yarn out. On the inside, a light bulb print. I don't know if you can see the light bulbs. You've got a couple of pockets on the inside and then a gusseted bottom so the bag will stand up for you while you're crafting. And then to go with the bag, I've got a few skeins, sort of a tasting of yarn. The first is an Aran weight yarn. This is Woolstock Tweed from Blue Sky Fibers. I talk about Woolstock a lot. One of my favorite brands. So this is an Aran weight tweed fiber. The fiber content is 85% fine Highland wool and 15% Donegal. It's 100 grams of yarn, 109 yards or 100 meters, and the color is 3301 Wild Mushroom. Made in Peru from Blue Sky Fibers. So we've got that skein, and then two skeins from Earth Yarns. These are both their spiral grain style, kind of like Spin Cycle where you have two different colors plied together. So these are both 50-gram skeins. One is a sport weight and the other is a light worsted. And both skeins of the spiral grain are Superwash Extra Fine Merino. The light worsted is color Sycamore, and then the sport weight is color Myrtle. So those are the three skeins that will come along with this project bag. And the second giveaway is for a drawstring cat-themed bag and 3 skeins of alpaca, 100% alpaca. So first we'll look at the bag. It's like a little drawstring backpack. with, I think, some adorable, well-dressed cats. The back side of it is just plain, neutral. And then for the fiber, it's not quite as bright as you're seeing in this above head camera. I'll hold it up here next to me. That's a better representation. A true blue, almost like a denim. I think that's a pretty good representation of the color there. And this is 100% baby alpaca from Puna by Amano. And I don't know the name of the color. The color is 4106, but I don't know its name. I've used this same type of yarn, but in an undyed shade for my field cardigan. I'll put a clip in. It's one of my favorite things to wear. It feels incredible next to the skin. It is 100% alpaca, so there's quite a bit of drape and give to the yarn. It doesn't hold its shape in the same way that wool or even cotton might do, but it's extremely soft, extremely luxurious, and I think the blue is a beautiful color. And with 3 skeins of it, you could make, I think, a large range of projects. So this is a DK weight fiber, 300 grams total, and I'll say the yardage as well. It's 273 yards per skein. So I can't do that quick math in my head, but if you want to add up and dream about what project you might make, you can use that yardage to do so. So that's the second giveaway, 3 skeins of alpaca with the cat drawstring bag. I'll be doing one giveaway here on YouTube in the comments below this video, and the other giveaway will take place over on Instagram. First, for the YouTube giveaway, just leave a comment under this video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. In your comment, either leave the word cats or wrenches, and I'll know that you're interested in entering the giveaway. And then over on Instagram, again, make sure you're following the page, and then leave a comment on the picture of these 2 bags that I will have posted. And in that comment, either say wrenches or cats. You can say other stuff in your comment, but to know that you're interested in being part of the giveaway, I just need the word cats or wrenches. I'll sift through those comments and choose a winner, one for YouTube, one for Instagram, and I'll announce those winners in next week's video. So if you're watching this video and it's already been a week since the date that this video was posted, then the giveaway is over. But if you're watching it in its first week of being published, feel free to leave a comment in either of those places and you'll be considered. If you're someone who's returning to the channel, you chose to come back for another video, then your positivity is making a huge impact. It makes a huge difference in my life, and I'm sure it makes a huge difference in the lives of those around you. So I appreciate you choosing to spend the time with me. I appreciate you choosing to be the person you are. And of course, I love having this shared craft among us. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to do that so you know about future videos and other things going on here in this crafting community. As always, a huge, huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. You make this possible, and I really enjoy the time that we get to spend together in our sessions over on Patreon. As always, thanks for choosing to be here with me. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy crafting to you, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.